Good afternoon and welcome to 50 and Starting a Business. So today we're going to talk about side hustles that teachers can start. So I have 35 side hustles specifically aimed at teachers. Now it doesn't mean that if you're not a teacher you can't do them, but these are things that maybe teachers have or have not thought of. So I'm going to get started. So number one is tutoring. I know all the teachers have thought about it. Sometimes I know it's a little hard if you have young kids still when you're a teacher versus older, but I want to tell you, as a tutor, you can make, about $100 an hour if you are teaching, higher high school level classes that require more expertise, or you're a special education teacher and you have expertise, you can charge $150. I know when we lived in New York City, our college student a college student that tutored us in French was making $150 an hour from us. She made $200 an hour from New York City families of high school students. And that was like 16, 17 years ago. So what you're going to pay or what you're going to make is going to vary. But if you just need a couple $100 extra a week, $800,000 a month, all you have to do is tutor 10 times. Maybe at this point, because of inflation, you're tutoring 8 times. That's really not that bad. So for teachers, I would look into it. There's also ways to do it online. So I'm going to spell this out. I don't know how it is spelled, but there's a company called WYZANT. And you go online and you actually tutor online. So you set your own rate. They take a little portion because they're kind of getting you the clientele, but that's a flexible way to become a tutor. So there's also VIP Kid. VIP Kid, all you need to do is, or all you need to know is to be able to speak English. And you are speaking English to kids in China to help them learn English. The Chinese government has clapped down on that a little bit, but it's still in existence and there are still opportunities to tutor Chinese kids English. There's 2 more: OutSchool, which teacher creates their own class. So you create your own class and you develop it online, and then you can teach that class online. Schoolly, Skoolli, so Skooli is an on-demand platform, and you're going to tutor K through 12 and college. So if you're a teacher and you don't want to try to get kids in your neighborhood or drive someplace, or kids, within a 30-mile radius, because, that takes 15 minutes to get there, and then you're only tutoring for an hour and, it ends up not being worth it. There are these online opportunities. You can start your own after-school program. So whether you want to teach drama, I learned ballet when I was 5 years old in a friend's basement. The mom taught us in the beginning, and we even had recitals and all that, but she did it out of her basement, and her kids were upstairs doing their homework and coming home from school, and it was a lot of fun. As a kid, I didn't really recognize I should be at a building and a dance academy and all that. It was like a really basic ballet, but yeah, there's a lot of things that you can come up with your own after school program. Even if it's like group babysitting. So instead of going to a daycare, you can provide one in your town that you can go pick up the kids and walk them to your house or what have you. These are great programs that teachers can come up with. Obviously, you can work at summer school or a camp counselor. You can be a sports coach individually, or coach a group of kids. That's a lot of fun, especially if you love being outdoors. You can teach swimming or be a lifeguard. And I didn't even think of this one, but this is a great way for teachers to make money, is to sell your teaching material. So there are 2 websites that I'm aware of where teachers can sell their teaching material. One is called Teachers Pay Teachers, and the other one is TES. Both of those websites, if you Google them, you can actually sell your teaching material. It might be something where you think of creating your own teaching material and see if you can, if there's a market for it. But I do think that this is specific brand name teaching material that you can sell there. Number 8 is self-published books. You like to write, you can publish your books and put them up on Amazon. It's a way to monetize your writing, and you never know, what comes of it. If you are passionate about writing, your writing is probably going to show it, and go ahead and self-publish. 9 is freelance writer, so you're not necessarily publishing your own material. But for example, if I somehow my website, I shouldn't say my website, but my YouTube channel takes off and I create all this YouTube channel, I want my blog post to have stuff in writing. I want there to be someplace that somebody can go and have the links to everything, and what did she say? And they can go there and see it. It might be nice to have a freelance writer to take everything and then go to the blog. At this point, I create the blog and then I do my YouTube channel. It helps me kind of think about how to, what I'm going to say and how to present. But yes, and guess what? Number 10, and I should have made it like five golden rings, is virtual assistant. That is in like pretty much every single list I've created, except I think for the one for teens. Virtual assistant is something great for teachers. A lot of virtual assistant work doesn't need to be done during the workday, so teachers could fill it in when it's convenient for them. Number 11 is sell stock photography. There are 3 sites where you can sell stock photography, and that is Shutterstock, which you probably all have seen. There's iStock Photo, and there's Adobe Stick. So sorry, Adobe Stock. So check those out if you're really into photography, or even if you already have you already have photos that you love and you think are amazing. Go see if they'll buy it. I mean, you never know. I say half the battle a lot of times is just putting yourself out there and trying. Number 12, start a blog. That's not going to get you money very fast, but if you have a topic that you love to research or love to do, or you're just really good at, like gaming, start a blog. Along that lines, you can start a YouTube channel. So I've started a YouTube channel and a blog. I've read where people have made money off of their blogs and YouTube channels within 10 months. This one guy, Lincoln Street Woodworking, really cool guy, really cool stuff. But he has a video and he's talking about how he made $36,000 in 10 months. There's another woman that I like. She does traveling. I don't remember her name, but she's traveled all over the place, and she has a YouTube channel about it. And she said she made $0 in 2 years. So I'll let you know how this comes out. I'm not really expecting to make any money, but if YouTube wants to pay me money, I will take it. But we'll just see how long it takes. But so those things are interesting, but I wouldn't really look into those as a teacher to make money right away. Another thing, which is along the same lines, you'll make money sooner, but it's a little bit harder, is an Etsy store. I discussed that in a previous post. I had an Etsy shop. I started about 10 years ago. I needed money to finance my son's tutoring in the special preschool he went to. It was 10 years ago. Etsy was private. There weren't as many sellers. They didn't allow products made by other people. So I couldn't buy a product from my next door neighbor and sell it as mine. Likewise, I couldn't buy a product in China or Thailand or India and sell it as mine on Etsy, but they allow that now. And the problem with allowing that now is their prices are so low. The cost of labor in these countries are so low. The cost, like I made bloomers. I bought my bloomers in the United States for $2.50 a piece. And then I would spend an hour monogramming the bloomer, and I would sell it for $15. I think I sold them for $12. I think everyone else sold them for $15. I sold it for $12. Those bloomers are now, the top one is $12. You can get them for $8. Some of them you're selling because they're buying the bloomers in Indonesia and monogramming them there, and then they're sent here. I think my bloomers were made in India, I believe, but they were sent to this company in the United States, and then I bought it from them. So yeah, so an Etsy shop is great. Make sure you have something unique. Make sure you do your research. Is this being made already? What is the cost? What would it cost me to make it? I mean, I remember calculating, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm making $8 an hour when I first started Etsy. And then I figured out efficiencies. I bought more machines and I got it up to $80 an hour, which made a lot more sense for me. But you need to do that math and you need to figure it out. And I do think Etsy is a lot more competitive now than it was when I started. You can sell printables. So you have your teacher, you have designs you make, you have educational crossword puzzles or coloring. It depends what grade you're in or what grade you teach. Whether you have printables that you can sell. You can teach an online class. And again, that doesn't have to be, algebra. It could be web design if that's like your side gig. It could be, how to do search engine stuff. Search engine stuff. We'll just go with that. again, and then there's we have a teacher that does our pet sitting. So you could do a dog walker, a pet sitter, a house sitter. You could do that all as a teacher. We have a teacher that we've been using for 5 years. We love her. She's wonderful. She was actually my child's special education teacher. Huge heart. We know and trust her. She needs to borrow a car because her car's in the shop. Go ahead, borrow a car. You want to have friends at our house. That's great. You want to borrow a bicycle. No problem. So if you want to be like a house sitter or pet sitter, the first year might be a little awkward as you get to know families, but you develop a relationship, trust is developed, and you don't know where that's going to end up going. And I think it's nice for us. I do not worry about our dogs. I worry about her spoiling our dogs. Our one dog, Jack, has a bottomless pit of a stomach, and I can't say he gets fatter when he's with her because he starts that way. But yeah, I don't feel bad, and I don't think the dogs, I know they miss us, but they like her as well. So it's great. Tour guide. Where do you live? There's beaches. We have a national park by us. There's New York City. Where do you live? Is there a college campus nearby that you could be a tour guide? There's hiking trails all over the place. You could be a tour guide for that. I like this one a lot just because I'm constantly in search and it's not that hard and I keep thinking I should do it, but become a notary. You do have to go through the National Notary Association, get certified to be a notary. It's not that difficult, and guess what? You're in demand. It's difficult to find it, and it's difficult to find it when you want it. I know I needed to get some real estate transaction documents notarized when my husband was in Florida and I was up here, and I had to drive like 45 minutes away. It was a pain. Now, it was during COVID, so a lot of places were closed, but yeah, it is hard to find a notary. So if you're looking for an easy side gig, I think all you really need is a stamp. Put yourself out there for notary, get yourself a website so you're searchable. Or actually, I don't even think you need a website. You could probably just go on Google search and put yourself in there and your phone number so people can call you. I think that's an easy way to make money, and I think I might look into that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. I'm doing my YouTube channel and I have my other business, but yeah, I think that would be something that would be quite useful and in demand. So we've discussed this one in a lot of the videos. An Uber driver, a Lyft driver, Instacart, DoorDash. So whether you are delivering people or groceries or packages, those are all things that you can decide to work when you want to work. So if you're a teacher, that really plays out really well if you need the extra money. So as I just mentioned, there's the grocery shopping. Instacart and Shipt, SHIPT, are two additional companies that you can look into to do grocery and package delivery. Wash laundry. So you don't mind washing laundry. You really have no problem. You can't sleep at night. You don't mind washing other people's laundry. I would look into Hamper, HAMPR, and I would look into SudShare, Sud, SUDSHRE. Those websites, you can actually sign up to wash other people's laundry and fold them and then deliver them. Household tasks, we talked about this earlier in an earlier video. There's TaskRabbit. And there's also Handy. So those two websites, you can offer your services to do tasks and odd jobs for people on that website. Airbnb host, rent out a room, you're going away for the summer, do your house. I mean, that's pretty well known. And then storage. So I didn't really think about this mainly because we don't have free storage space. But if you do have free storage space, you can actually offer up a room for people to put their items in. To be honest with you, that would probably be easier for me if my neighbor or someone near me had an extra room for me to store stuff than the storage container stores, because they're far away. I think the closest one for me is like 25 minutes. So that would be, less personal than like my neighbor. But hey, if you have the space and it's a garage or it's a room that, is easily accessible to a door, an inside-outside door, that would be great. Rent out your backyard. I didn't even think of this. I didn't know this was possible. And we have a wonderful backyard for it, except we already have dogs. But there's a company called sniffspot.com where you can go and rent out your backyard. And I think that'd be kind of wonderful for certain people, because some people live in apartment buildings. And instead of finding a dog park, hey, I got a fenced-in backyard, I'll rent it out for you. And then you can go sit in someone's backyard for an hour while your dog runs around. I don't know if you know car rental places. So not you go rent a car, but you offer to rent your car to people. So Turo, Turo, and get around are places where you can offer up your car to be rented to other people. And as we discussed earlier, and I think this is the fastest way to make cash, sell your stuff. So sell your stuff on eBay, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, Flipped, Flipd, and offer up and Mercari, 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 are places where you can sell your stuff. And that's going to probably be the quickest way for you to make $1. Books, shoes, sweaters, clothes that you don't need anymore. Okay, so here are my last 3. Cleaning people's houses. Don't think somebody would hire me for that. But yeah, you can make, it used to be 25 bucks an hour. I think a lot of places now it's more like $30, $40 an hour, especially if you haven't done it before. I think once you have a reputation or sturdy clients, steady clients that you can charge more. It might be that I'm not keeping up with inflation, and it is actually more like $50 an hour at this point to clean people's houses. Nanny, caregiver, Sitter City, care.com. You can also look at those places for tutoring to put tutoring availability on that. My last, I hadn't thought of before, but I was like, wow, I would love this. Not to do it, but to be a recipient of it. Meal prep service. I have used, I was going to say Blue Nile, but that's the jewelry place. Purple Carrot, and is it Health Fresh? I can't even remember what it's called right now. But anyway, regardless, I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about you offering up meal prep service. So you love to cook, you love to bake. I know down at the where my parents live, there's high school and college students that have a brownie business, but they actually make cakes and cookies and brownies. But if you're a teacher and you love to cook and you have like this wonderful pasta bolognese or lasagna or, you know, ribs and corn on the cob, or I don't know, you can think of your own thing, obviously. But you love to cook, offer up meal prep services. And again, I would look at, I'm not sure if you need to look at Marketplace as much as, you know, Facebook pages. Our town has a Facebook page. So, hey, anyone else interested out there? I know food trucks are a big thing, and partly because it's a unique idea, or it was a unique idea, and it wasn't as fancy as having catering. But, you know, you, depending on what food you offered, you could make it fancy like a caterer, or you could make it, you know, hamburgers and hot dogs. We'll do all the prepping or what have you, and we'll bring it to your party. Or hey, you know, it could be as simple as, you know, every Monday night you deliver a dinner to somebody. But those are things that teachers can do. Obviously, everyone who's not a teacher can do it, and there's a whole bunch of other things that teachers can do. But when I was doing my research, some of them were specific to teachers and I thought were really good. Thank you for watching my video. Take care.